Hi, welcome to another craft video from the Kansas City, Kansas Public Library. I'm Cheryl and I'm in charge of the craft kits at the main library. And today's video is to accompany a kit that we'll be giving out starting October 15th, 2025. But if you don't live near the library or you're watching this later on our YouTube channel and couldn't get one of the kits, don't worry. I'll tell you everything you need to purchase to make this kit or to make this project yourself with your own supplies. So what we're making today is this cute little Halloween / autumn centerpiece, and it's not inherently spooky. There's no bones or skulls or black cats or anything, so it could even be considered just autumn, so you can even use it past Halloween into November. And it's just a cute little centerpiece, and it's kind of rustic looking with a little shredded edges. But it's also kind of fancy. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it does have these little foil strips in it so that it is shiny. And it's made using a little styrofoam disc and just with pins and things. So there's no glue involved, no big deal. Very easy to put together. So what you'll have in the kit, or what you'll need to purchase if you don't have the kit, is you'll have one of these styrofoam discs. Now this is the hard styrofoam, not the soft kind that's meant to be used with the fresh flowers. This is the firm green styrofoam that's meant to be used with silk flowers. And this size is, they said it's 1.8 inches by 5.8 inches. And so the 5.8 is across this way, so it's almost 6 inches across, and it's a little over 1.5 inches tall. So that's what those numbers mean. Then you'll need a square of, or a circle or square of fabric. I have cut it into a rough circle, and in the kit you'll either get orange or black. And this needs to be big enough so that when you wrap it around, it goes over the edges, but it doesn't necessarily meet in the middle. So these ones that I've put in the kit are between 14 and 15 inches across. Then a bunch of straight pins, and there should be about 30 in here, and we're going to use those to hold the fabric down underneath. Then you'll have what are called U-pins. They look like that. They're called U-pins because they, form a U. Those are in the floral section, and that's what we're going to use to hold on the decorative mesh. And then we've got the decorative mesh. And this is available in 10-inch wide or 5-inch wide. Frankly, it's easier to deal with the 5-inch wide, but if you have only the 10-inch, you can always cut it in. These are cut into 5-inch squares. So for this, I just measured every 5 inches and I cut along the line because there's an up and down mesh, and I just cut along that line every 5 inches. And I have 20 of each of these two colors, and I have 5 or 6 of the gold. And as you're working, the raw edges will start to shed a little bit, so you just have to be aware that as you're doing this project, you will have the little plastic pieces shedding a little, and that's going to make the edges a little more ragged and a little more rustic looking. And that's perfectly normal. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the pins and we are going to pin the fabric on. So we're going to open the fabric up and we're going to set this down in the middle. You don't want it too much. You don't want the fabric to be able to cross over. if you've got too much of it, it will bunch up in the center and it won't sit quite right. So preferably you want it a little bit shorter so that it doesn't meet. That'll prevent some of the bunching. You put this in the center, and I am going to use a little tray here for my straight pins so they don't go rolling all over everywhere. Now, in order to make this even, what we're going to do is we're going to pull this up and just stick a pin down, and we're going to work in opposites to keep it nice and smooth and keep it from being wrinkly. Then when we get to the corners, we're going to open up the little folds and we're going to pull this up and pin them here. And then we're going to open up these and pull them. And what this is doing, now we don't have to work across it anymore. We can just go around. What this is doing is we are opening up the edges and we are making nice, smooth pleats on the edges so that it's not all bunchy. I'm just going to use the straight pins and pin down any fabric that's sticking up or too bunched, and that will help keep it a little bit flatter and make it have a nice base. Okay. And I have used 30 pins here, which is what you'll have in the kit. You can use more or less depending on how much it's bunching. Now, we're going to flip this over. We are going to start doing, we're going to do a row around the outside, alternating black and orange. We're going to do 2 rows. One around the very outside, one a little farther in, and the golds we're going to put in the center. And we are going to alternate these. And how we're going to do this, let me pour out some of my U-pins. So we're going to start with one of our squares. I'm going to fold the corners in, and then I'm going to bring my fingers together and kind of gather it up. And then I'm going to make sure the pin is placed along the edge like that to hold in the corners, and then I'm just going to pin it down through the fabric so that it goes sideways like this. And as I do more, this is going to lift the top ones up so that you'll get the nice full effect. So now we're going to alternate black and orange and black and orange. So I've done the same thing with one of the black ones. I'm going to lift this up and I'm going to put it about 1 inch to 1.5 inches away from the one before. So see how much space there is in there? There we go. And I'm going to alternate all the way around, doing this, repeating this exact same step. And I'll be back when the first round is done. Now when you get to the point where you are almost finished, you're going to take a look and see, make sure that you have enough, and you're going to adjust it so that you can alternate here. So I think I've got enough for 3 in here, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try and put the orange in the middle and then do the black on either side so that it will space out properly. Okay, right in the middle there. I mean, it's not too big of a deal if it actually comes out to where you have 2 oranges together, because you're going to have so many of them when you finish that people are not going to be nitpicking and go, oh, you have an orange next to an orange. All right, and so that's my first round. So I have used, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8 of each color. So there's 16 here. And you're going to have more of this than you need because I've given you 20 each of these. And so now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to kind of push these aside, and I'm going to do another circle about 1 inch in from that, doing exactly the same thing. And here is the last one. And I have used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of each color in the middle, in the second row. Now we're going to do the center with the gold. We're going to do the exact same thing. Alrighty, and I've used 4 of the gold. So you see I still have a bunch of this stuff left. And there you have your finished little centerpiece. Super easy, looks really fun and festive. Now you can do this in any color to match your holiday, just like a lot of the projects I showcase here. You can do for Halloween or for Thanksgiving. If you don't like the black for Thanksgiving, you can switch it out to be just orange and gold, or you can make it orange, red, and gold for those autumn colors. For Christmas, of course, you can do red and green with accents of gold or with silver. Hanukkah, blue and silver all over. As a matter of fact, silver and white would make a great all over winter, all winter long centerpiece. For the springtime, they usually come out with pastel colors, so you can make a springtime one, red, white, and blue. You can also stick little, they usually in the floral section, they have what they call picks, which are decorative things on a long wooden stick. And you can just stick them right down in there, so you have little pieces sticking up that match it. Like I would maybe try and find boo, the word boo on a stick for Halloween. I could stick that in there. So you see, this is a very simple, easy way to do any kind of holiday centerpiece or seasonal centerpiece. And all it requires is some pins, fabric, and styrofoam and mesh. So thank you for viewing another craft video from the Kansas City, Kansas Public Library. I'll see you next time. Bye.